Okay, so hello everybody, my name is Hirsch from Gaming Triax and welcome back to episode 2 of our Blacklight gameplay commentary. Now, I know I say it's a Blacklight gameplay commentary, but it's not really. It's more just Blacklight gameplay with commentary over it, because that's what I'm doing here. And you know, I think I kind of like this format where I more just talk about stuff that I think is interesting and that I hope you guys think is interesting. Because really I think that just works a little better. So anyway, today what I would like to talk about is what I think of the new Windows 8 and other different operating systems and just stuff like that. So basically, in case you guys don't know, Windows 8 is of course the new upcoming successor to Windows 7, which is probably one of my favorite operating systems that Microsoft has ever come out with. I've been using Microsoft since I guess Windows 95, and yeah, I think Windows 7 was just completely different. Even though everybody thought that it was just a new version of Vista, it really wasn't. It was much better. There were so many improvements, and I really like Windows 7. Now they're deciding to come out with Windows 8, and I'm kind of on the fence about this. I really don't know whether I want it to come out or whether I don't. Now, here's the thing. Windows 8 really, when you look at it, looks like it was designed for not a desktop, but a tablet. And I know that's great for people who use touchscreen desktops and all that all-in-one stuff, but for people who do games, and for me, I do video editing, 3D modeling, it's really not useful to have an operating system that was really designed and built to be used on a tablet. Now, I know that Windows 8 has its cool features and things, and I will admit that on my laptop when I installed it, it was really nice and I liked it for my laptop. But as a desktop operating system, I really don't think that it's the way they should be going. Another thing that really bothers me is the fact that Microsoft, again and again, they always released way too many different versions of their operating system. So for example, in Windows 7, there are like 8 different versions you can get, and with all of them you can still get 32 or 64-bit. Personally, I think there's no reason for this. Honestly, I think they should just have 2 versions maximum. They should both be 64-bit, or maybe 132, 164, because really what you should have is you should have one optimized for mobile devices, so that's primarily tablets and then some laptops/netbooks. And then they should keep one desktop operating system which is designed for higher powered machines for professional use, because I cannot imagine trying to use Windows 8 for professional work. That I think is much more important. Of course it works well on a tablet when you've got large icons and everything, but on a desktop it's really much less efficient. And when I was running it, I was surprised to see it takes up significantly more resources than Windows 7, just because they've really gone to town with how it does all this live updating and you get weather automatically. And I admit, it looks really cool, and there's a lot of eye candy, the animations are really nice, but it wastes so much power. Now, on a tablet, that might be okay, because you really don't need that power for anything else. All you're going to be doing is browsing the web, maybe watching videos, doing a little bit of, I don't know, whatever you do. But on a desktop, it really does matter, because for example, my system, I have 16 gigs of RAM, and I can use 14, 15 gigs when I'm rendering stuff. And really, anything that's wasting my RAM is actually going to slow down my workflow. And I can't imagine for people who do my type of work with less RAM, if you were running that on Windows 8, it would just be a huge disadvantage, because it simply wastes so many resources as compared to Windows 7. Now, I know that this is just my opinion, and I know also the version of Windows 8 that I tried was not the full version. I did use the release candidate, so it was slightly different, and they might have made some major improvements, but personally I highly doubt that they've made improvements that large between the release candidate and the real version. It just seems unrealistic for them to have made such huge performance increases, but I guess it is possible. I mean, really, I think that Microsoft, it was a good idea to come out with something that was great for tablets, but really you also have to make sure that you keep the desktop share. Because first of all, Microsoft and Windows, I mean, it's really the #1 platform for gaming in terms of PC. Well, by PC I'm talking about personal computers, not Windows PCs. Simply because Macs can't run all the games that Windows can. But the thing is, if you start putting in Windows 8 and all that stuff, it just makes it annoying. That's not really what people want. I think people were really happy with the UI of Windows 7, and if they had just implemented performance increases, optimization and things like that, I think it would have been much more beneficial than what they've done right now, which is just completely redo the whole system. I really think they did too much, and they made it too optimized for tablets. Now, another thing that's interesting is the fact that Microsoft did release their own tablet, the Microsoft Surface, and I think that it's really cool. I do personally think that it's just as good, if not better, than the iPad. I mean, obviously, I have not actually tried one because I don't believe they're available yet. They should be coming out soon. I think they're cool, and I also think that the keyboard, the way they've done that, was a really great idea. And I think that that is the perfect platform to release Windows 8 on. But honestly, having the same platform running on that and the desktop seems a little bit like a bad idea. I mean, I know that they do have 2 different versions of the tablet too, one running an i5 processor, that could still run the tablet OS. So the way they've done things, it just makes it really confusing and everything. I mean, first of all, the fact that they still released all their useless stuff, like, I mean, okay, it's not necessarily useless, but it seems to me like it's not helpful to have Windows 8 Professional, Windows 8 Home, Windows 8 Home Premium, Windows 8, all this other stuff that they still had in Windows 7. Like, you don't really need it. For example, in Windows 7 Ultimate, you get 35 different language packs. Why would you want to pay more for language packs? Why could they not just have everybody pay like $150 and buy the same standardized version of Windows? It would probably be same in terms of profits. You wouldn't be losing anything because people who would buy Home Premium are paying a little bit more, maybe $30. I don't think anyone would have a problem with that, considering the fact that Windows already costs like $130, and then people who are paying for Windows Ultimate because they need some features like networking and things, get it for a little bit less. I think that would make a lot more sense because, first of all, there's no way that you can possibly list all of the differences between the operating systems in any simple, reasonable way. I mean, they're really, whenever you look at it, what they tell you is you get BitLocker and 35 languages on Windows 7 Ultimate, which personally I don't consider a huge advantage. Actually, I personally don't consider it any advantage. The one thing that I consider good is the fact that in Windows 7 Professional, you get, what do you get? I think you get BitLocker, but that's not even that important because you can use better encryption softwares anyway if that's actually important to you. But you also get superior networking capabilities, which I use, but I don't get why they have to charge people for it. And that's one thing that I really like about Apple. And this is something that bugs me about not just Microsoft too, I should tell you that. It's also, for example, in Google. Why did they release Android for every single device at different times? If they could standardize the release date for Android, it would be way better than trying to have everybody figure out when the new version of Android is going to come to their specific device. And this is not even just a problem. I mean, this is a huge problem because Android runs on so many devices. It's not like iOS where you have maybe 4 devices maximum. Then it's okay. People can figure out, okay, the operating system is either not or it is coming to my device, and you always know that it's coming to your device at the same time. Whereas with Google, you have absolutely no idea when you are going to get the update. And even if you do, why does it have to be different for the different devices? That's one thing that really bugs me, and Microsoft and Google both do a similar thing with this. They release tons of versions and all this stuff. And that's one of the few things that I really, really like about Apple is the fact that they try to keep everything standardized. Now, some say that they're a little bit more controlling, which is true, and it has its advantages and disadvantages. I personally think that the disadvantages are greater, but I mean, that's not even the point. The point is they do standardize everything much better, and that really makes a difference. So anyway guys, that will conclude this video. I know it's a little bit incoherent, but it was just my thoughts on these issues. Oops, just dropped something. Thank you very much for watching. My name is Hirsch from Gaming Reacts. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, and we will see you in our next video.